Just before New Year's Eve, a terrorist armed with a gun roamed the streets of Hilwa, an industrial suburban hub south of Cairo, and killed 10 people at the entrance of St. Mary and St. Minor Coptic Orthodox Cathedral and 2 at a nearby shop. The victims included 10 Coptic Christians. The gunman was immediately subdued by local residents and worshippers who locked the gates of the church to prevent a bigger massacre. A Muslim resident tackled him to the ground as he was about to reload his Alaska-47 rifle. Islamic State, which has a strong base in the Sinai Peninsula, claimed responsibility for the attack. The event, and the all-too-familiar scenario of attacks on Coptic Christians in Egypt, is vivid in the minds of Australian Copts as they celebrate Orthodox Christmas on Sunday. On this day, the Middle East's largest minority collectively holds its breath fearing church attacks. Benjamin Morcos, 64, an accountant living in Australia, was anxious about his sister and niece who live in Hilwa when he saw news of last month's attack. "I thought the attack happened inside the monastery at first where my niece has been a nun there for over 25 years, he told Fairfax Media from his home on the Gold Coast. "I was worried about everyone. There are also plenty of Muslim residents who get treated there at the local clinic, so I was very anxious about everyone's safety. When I spoke to my sister and niece, they said they remained barricaded in the monastery until the terrorist was caught." He said the women were kept up to date by friends relaying news via mobile phone. Coptic Christians make up about 12% of Egypt, the Arab world's most populous country, and in Australia number around 30,000 according to the latest census. They mostly migrated during the 1950s after Gamal Abdel Nasser's ascent to power. Their faith forms an essential part of their minority's identity. Get the latest news and updates emailed straight to your inbox. By submitting your email, you are agreeing to Fairfax Media's terms and conditions and privacy policy. There are currently 2 main dioceses in Australia, in Sydney and Melbourne, serving a growing diaspora with more than 30 churches under their purview in as far as Japan, Singapore and New Zealand. In our deep hearts we cannot be separated from the Mother Church in Egypt. We are constantly connected and are monitoring all these attacks, Sudanese-born Bishop Daniel of the Sydney Diocese told Fairfax Media. "For these hardliners and fanatics we say that the Church is protected with the promise of God. How many tyrants and rulers before you tried to destroy the Church but failed? The Church will prevail with its love over any weapon." The Church, established after Mark's arrival in Egypt in the 1st century, has a long history of venerating martyrdom through powerful icons and stories rooted in its resistance to persecution mounted by Roman and Muslim rulers. The Coptic calendar, based on ancient Egyptian months, commemorates the legacy of such saints and now the modern-day deaths from terror attacks. These